What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. Today it is time for the Week 34 Premier League predictions. Before we go any further, please do smash a like on the video if you're enjoying these Premier League predictions. The last few videos we've reached 150 plus likes, which is absolutely insane. So go down there, just drop a like real quick for me. And I want to give a shout out to Newton Abbey, who left their predictions on the previous video and correctly predicted that Arsenal would beat Wolves away from home. Something even myself, an Arsenal fan with as much bias in the world, not really. I do respect that Arsenal lose a lot of games when they shouldn't do. But even me, I only predicted the 1-1 draw. Someone actually said to me in the comments as well that I only predicted Arsenal to draw because I'm an Arsenal fan. But in actual fact, I went based on recent form. Arsenal been doing well, and their 2-0 away win did prove that. So if you want to get your comment featured in the next episode of the Premier League predictions, then drop it down in the comments below with your predictions for Week 34. And if there is a shock result this week, which there most likely will be, and you correctly predict it, you have a good chance of getting featured in the next week's episode. So let's have a little look back before we get into Week 34 at Week 33, because this was my best week since the restart. I had a pretty good run. There were obviously a couple of upsets in there, obviously Southampton, Manchester City being the main one. I didn't really factor in the fact that for some reason Guardiola would play a weakened side to rest players, but in the end I don't really know what they're resting players for, because it's not like you've got other fixtures coming up. You know what I mean? Like, the Champions League is in August, so you can play your full-strength team. I don't really know what they're playing for at the moment. But anyway, kicking it off, we had Norwich versus Brighton, and this was a perfect score prediction. I predicted Brighton to get the 1-0 away win. I was very proud of that. After that, we had Leicester Crystal Palace. I predicted 3 goals and a Leicester win. So as close as it gets, I predicted a 2-1 Leicester win, and they ended up winning 3-0, grabbing all of the goals. Manchester United versus Bournemouth. Again, I was pretty much right in some ways. I predicted the winning margin, 3 goals to Manchester United, but I predicted a 3-0 win as opposed to the 5-2 win it ended up being. Then Wolves against Arsenal, I predicted a 1-1 draw. I couldn't separate the two teams, and it ended in a 2-0 win to the Gunners, which was just fantastic, really. Chelsea up against Watford, I predicted a 3-1 home win to Chelsea. It ended up being a 3-0 win, so again, about as close as it can get. And coming up after this one, I was very, very proud of this one. Burnley, Sheffield United. I correctly predicted the 1-1 draw, and I stated this in the previous video that it had draw written all over it. And if you need any more proof that I backed my prediction 100%, I included not only a draw in an ACCA over the weekend, I also included the 1-1 draw in an ACCA over the weekend. So, yeah, I don't know what more proof you need other than that I was very short of that result. So I was very pleased for that one to come in. And then after that, Newcastle West Ham, I was very, very close. I predicted a 2-1 win to Newcastle, and it was a 2-2 draw, so not far away. Liverpool Aston Villa, again, so close. I predicted a 3-0 win to Liverpool. It ended up being a 2-0 win to Liverpool. A little bit scrappy, to be honest, but then again, Liverpool weren't quite at full strength either. I didn't really factor that in as well. And then Southampton, Manchester City, I predicted a 4-1 win to Man City. This was thinking they were going to start De Bruyne, and I didn't even know about the status of Aguero at that point, but Southampton won 1-0, and it was a pretty amazing finish for the goal. Very, very smart, intelligent finish there. And then Tottenham Everton, obviously at the time of uploading this, they haven't played yet. I've predicted a 1-1 draw between the two teams. I don't know how it's going to go. Maybe it'll be 2-1 either way. I'm thinking now. I think we could see some goals tonight. Who knows? But we'll know in a few hours how that ends. But now it's time to get on to Week 34. And I think this is going to be a little bit of a low-scoring week in terms of the predictions that I've made in the past. This one, there's a lot of under 2.5s in my opinion. But anyway, kicking off, we have Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. I didn't know how poor Palace have been going forward. I haven't heard anything about Zaha lately. I don't know if he's even playing. He must be, but he's not doing anything. Crystal Palace haven't scored a single goal since the restart, and at Selhurst Park, I don't expect that to change this week against Chelsea. Chelsea being a team that have scored, I think, at least 2 goals in every game since the restart, despite losing, of course, 3-2 to West Ham. They still find the back of the net. I think it's going to be a simple 2-0 away win to Chelsea. So we'll move on swiftly to Watford up against Norwich. This is a huge game because Norwich, they're not mathematically relegated yet. I mean, they're getting there. But this is more important for Watford because not only do they need the 3 points, realistically, this is also a very gettable 3 points at home to a team that haven't scored a goal since the restart. I don't think Timu Puki's scored a goal this year. He was in the Golden Boot conversation back in September and October. Obviously, things have changed massively since then. But when he's not firing, Norwich aren't firing. I don't see how they can get a goal. Yes, Todd Cantwell, as we saw in the FA Cup and as we've seen a few times in this season, can pop up with a bit of brilliance, but I don't think he'll have enough to carry the team to a win against Watford, who I think should win this game. So I'm going to go for another 2-0 win. Now, the next fixture, probably the game of the week. Arsenal versus Leicester. Arsenal having strung together 4 wins back-to-back. Leicester dropping points, Chelsea dropping points. Does give them a little shout of getting some European football. Whether that's a 6th place Europa League spot because Man City might get banned and then the Europa League qualification goes down. There is chance, weirdly, for Arsenal to get some European football this season if they keep up their run of form. It does just make the Brighton loss even more infuriating, though. But Leicester finally getting back to winning ways against Crystal Palace 3-0. They really, really needed that. However, I don't know if it's going to help them going into this game. I think had they lost against Palace, maybe they'd have to try even harder to get something against Arsenal. But Arsenal's home record is very, very good. Their home record against Leicester is very, very good. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. Quite often, because I'm an Arsenal fan, I'll predict a draw or a loss for Arsenal. So that way, either my prediction is right or Arsenal win, and I'm happy because of that. I'm going to double down on this one. I'm not 100% certain Arsenal will win, but why not, as a fan, back the boys at home to beat Leicester 2-1. I think it's going to be a great game, I hope. I mean, if it's like the last time Arsenal played Leicester, I remember watching, where Arsenal just got destroyed, then that won't be very, very good. But Arsenal are used to winning, Leicester not so much. At the Emirates, let's back Arsenal to win 2-1. Now, the next game, Manchester City up against Newcastle. Newcastle been in pretty good form. You know, they drew with West Ham, yes, but in previous weeks as well, they were looking good. The likes of Almiron finally getting consistent goals, playing how we thought he should have been at the start. It took him a little while to get going, but he is going now. Manchester City, I don't know if they'll play full strength again, because although they were humbled by Southampton by not playing full strength, this one's at the Etihad. It's against Newcastle. I still think they might give some other squad members a run out. So I'm going to go for a very close game here. I'm going to go for a Manchester City 2-1 win against Newcastle. I think it is going to be close, but I think Manchester City just should win. You can't not win against Newcastle after just losing to Southampton if you're Manchester City. B team or A team or any team. So I'm going to go for 2-1 to Manchester City, but that's one to keep an eye on. Now, the next game is Sheffield United up against Wolves. Sheffield United, the team that I've correctly predicted the perfect score of the most times this season, with me correctly predicting the score of a Sheffield United game 8 times, and Wolves in joint second, me predicting their correct score 7 times. So if there's ever a score that I'm going to predict, it'll be Sheffield United Wolves. Similar to Norwich and Brighton. I think I predicted them correctly 7 times as well, and I got their score last week. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between Sheffield United and Wolves. It's been a very interesting couple of weeks for Sheffield and Wolves. Sheffield beating Tottenham, which was really, really good. They came back against Burnley to get the 1-1 draw in the last week. And Wolves winning games, very low scoring, solid defence, but then losing to Arsenal last week. So I can't really separate the two teams. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw between the two of them, because they do love a draw. Now, speaking of loving a draw, we have West Ham up against Burnley. Both teams coming off of a draw in the previous week, and I do think with West Ham's slightly improved play, you know, beating Chelsea, going ahead against Newcastle twice, it isn't bad, and they didn't lose, which is all right, I suppose. So I think, unlike Burnley, when I believe they beat Crystal Palace 1-0 away from home, I think West Ham are in a little bit better nick than Crystal Palace, so I'm going to give West Ham a goal as well. Antonio's looking very, very good at the moment as well. Declan Rice running things in the middle pretty well too. I'm going to go for another 1-1 draw between these two teams. Now, coming up after that, we have Brighton against Liverpool. Will Liverpool play full strength? I'm not entirely sure. Like, at the same time, as I said with Manchester City, I don't know what they're saving their players for, because there's no important fixtures, especially for Liverpool. I think they're out of the FA Cup. They're out of the Champions League. They literally have nothing to play for, which I think is why it's going to be difficult to predict Brighton Liverpool games. I think Liverpool will do what they've been doing all season, just get a clinical, low-scoring win. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to Liverpool. Now, the next game is Bournemouth up against Tottenham. This is weirdly big as well. Tottenham, their form isn't great. They're not looking too good, and they are dropping down the table a little bit. So Europe is probably off the cards, I would say. But Bournemouth, this is very, very important for them. Typically, it's tough, okay? Because the Vitality Stadium is a tough place for bigger clubs to go. But Jose Mourinho, I don't know how the game against Everton ended, but I don't know if it went well, of course. But I think Tottenham are going to beat Bournemouth here. I think Bournemouth are just down and out. They're okay some days, and they could easily beat Tottenham. They beat Tottenham here last season, I think. I think that, you know, Son got sent off, if I remember correctly. If Bournemouth are going to win, it'll be 1-0 somehow, and Tottenham won't be able to, you know, score. but I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to Tottenham. I think it's about time Tottenham have a high-scoring game where they dominate. They have to. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Tottenham, but it wouldn't surprise me if Bournemouth got something, and it would be kind of funny. The next game is Everton up against Southampton. Southampton managing to beat Manchester City in the previous week, and Everton, we obviously don't know because they're playing Tottenham. I think Everton are going to win this game, but I think it's going to be very, very close. Everton have a much better home record than away. Southampton not as good away as they are at home, and Southampton do have a goal in them. I think Everton are going to win this one 2-1. Now, the final game of the week is Aston Villa up against Manchester United. I think Aston Villa, they've got a very tough run of fixtures, it has to be said, and I do think it looks like at the moment it's going to be Norwich, Bournemouth and Aston Villa that go down, because Watford, like I said, they've got Norwich. I think they should win that. West Ham have been picking up points. They've been looking all right. So I think it might be Aston Villa, Bournemouth and Norwich. I think Manchester United are going to beat Aston Villa here. Yes, they drew 2-2 the last time the teams met, but that was before Fernandes. That might have been without Pogba. I can't remember. Most likely he's been injured for ages. And Manchester United looking very, very good. I think Aston Villa will finally bounce back with a goal because they haven't scored a goal in a few weeks. And Manchester United, they conceded 2 to Bournemouth. They've got a leaky goal in them occasionally. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 away win to Manchester United in this fixture. But that is going to do it for the Week 34 predictions. If you did enjoy it, then please do leave a like, as I said, and subscribe down below so you don't miss any of the videos, because we've got so much coming up on the channel. Premier League, and then we, of course, have FA Cup, Europa League, Champions League, and then a season restart in September, because we've had the summer break. We don't have a massive long summer break on the full 90 because we've kind of already had that. We're on our way to 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year. We're absolutely smashing it. So thank you very much for watching. As I said, leave a like if you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video very soon.